It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this Board of Selectmen meeting to order Tuesday, August 4th, 2026 at 7 p.m. We're here and also online. So we'll try to get to you if we see you. Please help me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I move to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? Any changes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Audience, nope. To approve, I move, we can't approve the minutes. I wasn't here.
Okay, so
So I will.
table that till the 18th.
Audience of citizens. Yes.
Hello, my name is Noreen Barrington. I live at 3 Newford Drive, Columbia, Connecticut. I'd like to address new business, item number 6.1. I have some questions. You can answer them at this time. If you want to wait until 6.1 comes up, that's fine. These are my questions for reference, please. I'd like to know if a draft or template for the speed cameras have been written or reviewed yet.
6.1.
Yeah.
Hop River Mills Archaeological Preserve deed restriction. Am I? A couple of 6 point, is that 6 point? We got two of them?
My copy says 6.1 is.
Okay, give me a minute, please. I have a wrong one.
No, it's.
The motions, it jumped it.
Okay. Okay, go ahead,
You want me to repeat my question?
please.
Has a draft or template for the speed cameras been written or reviewed yet by the town?
No.
I'm sorry, Frank.
But we're not answering questions. She's just
No,
we're putting them into motion.
Well, I said you could answer them, or you don't have to answer when we get to 6.
Thank you. Go ahead.
The next question will be, what will the verbiage be for the ordinance? I'm asking for the literal text question, if there is text available, so that the residents in this town can be educated before the next meeting. And how will the vote be counted at that? Thank you.
How was that? What did you said? How will the vote be counted
At the meeting.
at the meeting?
And will that be answered when you address 6.1?
Yes.
Did she put that
Maybe. Anybody want to talk to us online?
That's on my street. So.
No.
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 Anybody else? Audience of citizens? Seeing none. Thank you.
Correct. Oh, people aren't putting their addresses in.
There's like a general chat you can put in
We did already.
You can do it again.
Okay.
Rachel, do you?
No old business.
You have to sign in for invitation.
I can hear you. What does that mean?
Can I ask a question? I know that we just closed that. Can I just ask a question?
Can I ask one? What's your name?
My name is Lisa. I've been here for 26 years.
What's your address, please?
465 Route 87.
Perfect. Thank you.
Columbia.
Yep.
So I have a question about the lake. I have concerns about the lake, and I was just wondering if you could answer my question, like what happened with the lake level this year and why. I've gotten many people telling me what happened with it. And, you know, it's just disappointing this year, and it's kind of angering that the lake is as low as it is, and for what reasons I heard from it. I was just up here asking if I can get an honest answer as to what happened with it, because it's several feet low this year.
Mhm.
People can't get boats on, they can't get jet skis on. The swimming is pretty much, you have to go out into the weeds to swim because it's so low. And I heard tell some stories about why, but I mean, I'm just concerned about the lake and that the residents here haven't been able to.
Where did you get your information? I'm just curious, and I'll tell you all about the lake.
I've heard from a person that works here rather, and I've heard from people that live in the town too, what happened with a council that decided that the lake needed to be drained again in March for, reasons of personal property or docks or seawalls that needed to be preserved. But it's to the detriment of the lake at this point, and it kind of ruined one of the best things about Columbia, the lake this summer, and being able to enjoy that. And people that rent homes around the lake for income and having people come in, this kind of probably next year probably won't happen, because it's just disappointing. I've heard that from people too. Someone that I know that rented a house for a month of July, and they were just really disappointed in what's happened with Columbia Lake because it's one of the nicest lakes in Connecticut.
Absolutely. We're disappointed too, believe me.
So I was just wondering
So-
what happened with it this year.
Yeah, I
because-
can.
Yeah, also the beach passes. I mean, I have pictures of being there on a Saturday afternoon. There's like nobody there at 1:30 in the afternoon. And lifeguards, basically sitting around with no people up there because you can't really swim. It's like so shallow. It's not even like a lake right now. So that's all I wanted to say. And I'm just really disappointed in what happened this year. I've never seen it this low. I've gone to the lake for 26 years. And then when I started hearing what the rumor was around town with a small council of people that decided to do this, it really kind of angered me that they ruined it for the rest of the community. We all pay taxes. We're the majority, they're the minority. That's it. So I wanted to ask.
Mary, you want to explain what happened? It's yes or no. I can try, I can do it, but I'm about 99%. So, yeah, and then fill in if I'm,
Mary Rifle 34, Georgetown Road.
so I'll go through this. So I don't want to put you on, and if I get something wrong or I forget something, please help me out, okay? We follow, we follow a very strong guideline for the preservation and the rise and drawdown of the lake. We draw down the lake every year, either in October or November, to allow those people who reside on the lake to make repairs to their docks. Therefore, doing it safely, not to disrupt the lake bottom, to drop things in the lake when the water's there so it can be retrieved, not to pollute the lake, whatever they need to do. In February, we close the gate. The gate is what allows the water to run out from the bottom of the lake, down the hill, and that's how we draw down the lake. In February, we close the lake, close the gate, and allow the water to start coming up. But in our guidelines, it says if you have more than 2 inches of ice on the lake, you need to draw down the water as not to cause damage to those people and their property that live on the lakes. That's been in the guidelines for many years.
So
This year, we had over 6 inches of ice on the lake. After a deep, you're gonna have to let me finish. You have to let me finish.
Okay.
And we had a deep freeze and we had over 6 inches of ice on the lake. Last year, we had a late storm, had some ice. The wind blew those ice. It wasn't even covering all the lake, but the wind blew the ice and just then caused thousands of dollars in damage to some of the docks. This year, we followed the guidelines as we did last year, but we had a large ice pack on the lake. It had been a cold winter.
So
We opened the gate, we closed the gate as soon as possible to be able to allow the rest of the ice to melt, bring up the water, and then we hope for spring thaw and spring rains. That didn't come. There's no big spigot out there that I forgot to turn on. We followed guidelines that have been there for many, many years. This is an anomaly. The last time it happened was 2012, I believe. And then before that was 1990 something, okay? The bottom line is, we're all very disappointed about it. Terribly. But it happened. That's it. There's no magic thing. I can't. To say to me in February, close the gate, let the water rise, hell be damned on the ice, take out everybody's dock, at least we'll be able to swim in the summer. I can't do that. The guidelines are there for a reason. They're to help us judge and treat the lake as best we can for those people in Columbia that want to use the lake. And that's hopefully everybody. I'm sorry the rain didn't come. It was so dry a month ago. We had weeks of 95-degree weather when we got a 4-inch or 2-inch rain that would normally put 8 inches of water in the lake. We got 2.5 inches of water in the lake because everything around town soaked up whatever the good earth had gotten from rain. I'm sorry it happened. Now, for me to go out and say, your dock, your dock, your dock, your dock, and possibly your dock, I know it's been there for 30 years, 40 years. The bottom line is, every year, we're going to gamble and hope your dock doesn't get crushed to tens of thousands of dollars because that's just the way it is. I can't do that either.
Isn't that kind of like the risk you take when you live on the water, though? I mean,
Isn't that
people at the shore that have houses that if there's a big storm, their house gets washed away, that's the risk you take. I mean, it just doesn't seem to me really fair to the rest of the community. I understand what you're saying, though. I get it, but it just doesn't seem really fair that it's like, because of personal property, when you live on a lake, those are the risks that you take when you do live there. Just like I said, like at the ocean, with people that lose properties too. So I don't know. I understand what you're saying. And I just wanted to have that clarified. Still not very happy about it, honestly, because
We're not, listen, I get calls all the time. I mean, people how come you didn't turn on the lake there's no turn on. There's no turn on, turn off.
Algae at this point too, because I grew up in Bolton, and Bolton had a horrible algae bloom in that lake years ago. Not because of low levels, but low levels, because I've been reading about it. Low levels can cause an algae bloom that can take a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of years to get rid of. And I would hate to see the lake get damaged from that.
I agree with you. Honestly, I agree with you. And thank you for bringing that up. We spend tens of thousands of dollars on consultants to make sure we try and stay on top of all the algae, the invasive species. They're spending millions of dollars cleaning up an oil spill, 200 gallons out of a house that's probably 250 yards away from the lake, but a little bit is seeped into the lake. And a lot more is in the ground there. There are millions of dollars in pulling all that stuff out of there. I get it. And I'm glad you asked it because now everybody can watch this and say, oh, I guess the first selectman didn't forget to turn on the spigot. It's just, I mean, it's bad. It's just bad.
It was just like, it just seems like instead of something being down lower than it should be. I mean, the docks at the beach are like out of the water, basically.
I don't go to the lake. Except to make sure people are there and they're working and I can see the fun and, our lifeguards are doing their job when kids are swimming out beyond the buoys and everything. Believe me, I have a lake pass. I had other things to do with my money this year because my granddaughter wanted to go to the lake in the 3 weeks she was here. We went once. I stubbed my toe. I didn't go back. I get it. I truly do. The lake is the greatest asset, natural asset to this town. So I'm sorry. We all feel it. We all feel it.
Thanks for
Thank you. I'm sorry that's not an open discussion, sir. Okay. Anybody else? Audience or citizen?
Steve, you did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You name.
Merrick Rifle.
Yeah. Thank you. Forget it. Hush.
May I
just add two things. The primary purpose of any drawdown, and we've been doing this since the 1970s, is the environment and ecology of that lake. So you make a very good point when we don't fill up the lake, but when we take it down, it freezes, particularly some native plants that we just don't want to go rogue in the lake. And unfortunately, that happens too. Mother Nature is the weighted criteria in all of this. This is an art, not a science. And as an example, I'm happy to share today, with the rain that we've gotten, we've gone from minus 18 inches to minus 10. We are under a foot to get to baseline. So we're getting there. Unfortunately, much later in the season.
I saw boats being launched today.
In 2012, we were down to 23 inches. That's how bad it was. In 1994, they're telling me we were down in that amount. So I don't recall 1994, I'm too young, but I think that he has a very valid point to hear the truth. And we err to fill the lake. And yes, we're trying, and we actually have a warning statement for policy that is not the town's fault. We err to fill the lake. We do try to protect structures on the lake.
So because I let Mary speak, do you have a comment or a question?
I was just gonna say, I grew up on
First of all, give me your name and address.
330 Route 87. I grew up in Noack in the saltwater. I mean, my uncle's dock is Noack Shipyard, my uncle's house. He had a huge dock and he had boat slips. And what we did, we went damage because the water would get, the salt water, believe it or not, would freeze. But when I was a kid, we had tried to take cars out there and do it all. You know what I mean? And you had tide. So what we did is every winter, we went down to Uncle Tom's house and we took the dock apart. And then every spring, we go put the dock back. And every hurricane, we take the dock apart. We go back there and put it together. But instead of leaving the boards that could get destroyed and stuff, that all this piling thing. And every once in a while, we have to replace them. But that was a good way of doing it.
Thank you.
Also, in growing up, did the same thing on Finger Lake in upstate New York. The LMAC in August, our dam subcommittee is making recommendations that will advise the Board of Selectmen of some slight changes to the dam water control policy, including education as to how to minimize structural damage. And taking docks out is one of the.
That would have alleviated that second part.
Thank you. No old business?
No, sir.
New business. Set a meeting to address the petition on August 12th, 26 at 7. When is our other meeting? Do we have another meeting for the ordinance?
This is the 18th is a town meeting on transfers. The August 12th is the petitioned request to retract the Board of Selectmen's motion. It's this. The 12th is that's the last day in the 21 days after.
So I have a question. I find it kind of rich that the people behind both the referendum petition and this petition, one was to make sure everybody had the right to vote. And this petition is to not give everybody the right to vote. So they have 200, 300, 400 signatures to have a meeting to retract the information meeting that could inevitably move to prepare an ordinance. That could.
Our motion was to create the ordinance. The petition was to cancel the creation of the ordinance.
I just said that.
Yeah, no, but you said it's preventing people from having a meeting after.
So we'll have two meetings.
And if it doesn't override our original motion, then yes, we would have
If what doesn't override?
the town meeting that's coming up.
Town meeting on the 12th could negate
Could negate our motion to
the
have.
motion.
Why wouldn't I allow everybody to vote?
That is allowing everybody to vote.
No, it's a,
To the meeting.
You can't do a petition to have a referendum to override a board of selectmen motion, but you can do a petition
To a
to have
town.
a town meeting to override a board of selectmen motion. So there's only one way of getting a vote on that particular topic, and it would be to have a town meeting. That's just the way our charter outlines people being upset with us.
okay, I'll abstain. I move to refer a town meeting on August 12th, 2026 at 7 PM in Yeoman's Hall, whether to override the action of the Board of Selectmen taken on July 7th, 2026, to authorize the town administrator to prepare, and only prepare, an ordinance working with CROG on a safety action plan and put together RFP to choose a vendor for automatic traffic enforcement safety devices to be used in Columbia. Now, caveat. That would have to be voted on, correct?
Everything I would have prepared would have to come to a town meeting to vote.
To be
Yes.
voted on.
So I was just authorized to pull everything that people want to know. What's our town ordinance going to look like? Who would be the recommended vendor? What would be the contract? All that information is what you authorized me to do. This meeting would say, put a stop to that.
But how can people know everything that I've seen questions about
They
on
can't, 'cause
Facebook if we don't have that meeting to tell them?
I don't know. All I have tonight is what I learned from the town of Clinton and how they did it, but I don't know if that's the course we would take. But there's a lot of towns that have done this already. And the state defined the ordinance. They gave the template,
Listening.
yes, in their authorizing legislation.
Okay, so we have the informational meeting to prepare ordinance, should we decide to do so, on August 12th.
No, on August 12th is a meeting to upend your motion to authorize me to create that informational meeting.
Stopping the cameras before, the idea is,
You haven't voted on the cameras.
let me finish. So the idea behind the petition is that they wanted to get ahead of the concerns about the cameras before we put a bunch of effort into the cameras. They want more information about the cameras in general. They want a town meeting because they didn't agree with the motion we had in our meeting to have Mark put the effort into creating the ordinance.
So this is to not get the board to go to a town meeting, and, I mean, I think we should have some information about what the plan would be, but not to create the board. They're asking us not to.
It's a catch-22.
I know.
I mean, if it's something that's already outlined by the state, it's literally just filling, we talked about this before, it's a matter of filling in Columbia, Connecticut, and some smaller details in there. So a lot of that can be shared with the public before we go through
Right,
the effort.
because I'm thinking we need to get information out, to know what they're saying yes or no to.
Well, we are starting creating we're about to populate our website with question and answers on every research I've already done
If we,
to try to answer these questions on the different types of cameras and what they do and what they don't do.
what it would look like here. I mean,
Right, but it won't be, as Noreen asked, an actual ordinance, because
We're asked not.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So is this what I just read? Is that telling me that we're just going to not have a town meeting at all? Because
We're gonna have a town meeting to vote on whether this should stop before it starts.
Right, basically.
Reverse your motion.
Reverse your motion and say, we don't want you to do
So we-
anything.
it's just as,
Mhm.
And I know that you're saying only 400, but that's to get a petition in our town, 400 people's signatures on it.
I'm sure it's 400. I said 200, 300. So what should we do, Julie?
Well, they have some questioning. We need to present something of what it would look like, whether it be an ordinance or just some, document to say what it would look like to have the cameras here. We need some information so people can have something to at least consider to vote on.
So what you need to do is reverse the motion and then either proceed into a public hearing or schedule a public hearing once you have information. Right.
That's what you're saying.
You could do a lot of things, but at the moment, we're just deciding whether this ordinance is reversed.
Now, schedule a meeting, a public hearing meeting, vote meeting.
Yes,
So you're not,
you can have Board of Selectmen make that motion to not have the just reverse your motion. Then schedule a public hearing when you're ready to present everything in full to the public. Before you have an actual
before you have an
town,
actual work.
before you have an ordinance, before you have a town meeting to accept everything, you could just revoke it right now. I don't know if that's gonna do something to
Yeah,
the
I think-
referendum because we vote motion for the referendum, so.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a. that
I
was
made a motion to a town meeting.
It was motion to a town meeting, but you could do that, and then if you have a hearing, what you do is you can gather all the questions at that point.
Yeah.
To be able to address. Yeah, that would be the best way to
And
get
then
the
you
questions that are causing that petition in the first place.
Right. I just think we need to get some more information out there.
We'll put up a question and answer on the website under the traffic cameras, and you can read all.
Not to address everybody's question, I think that's the concern, is that the meeting, people want the meeting so they can ask the questions. Putting up something on the website, not everybody, that's gonna touch even less people than the town meeting is going to hit. I don't think people are going to go to the town website to do the question and answer.
I would say in addition to.
We had a public hearing, it was a public hearing with subject matter experts to talk about
It was a public hearing.
public hearing, informational meeting. You made it an informational meeting. And we had hundreds of people
Yeah,
there.
but we still have more questions, and we do too.
Right, we all have questions. This is not an easy discussion.
I think there's some very good questions out
So, okay, I put this through.
there.
There's more coming to light in the media. A lot of the towns we've referenced back to, so.
And so many answers that we haven't dug deep into the information.
So would we get?
So-
Oh, go ahead.
So if we do this, can I make a motion to have a public hearing on the August 12th?
First thing we'd have to do is make a
No, we
motion
won't.
to rescind.
I understand that.
On August 12th, you mean to make a public hearing in the future? No, we would do that to the Board of Selectmen at a later date.
I don't think you get, I
Well,
don't know the marks
Are
understand.
you gonna have the information ready on
No.
the 12th for a
Okay.
public hearing? You have to postpone it. You have to do your motion. If you want to, you can do your motion tonight to reverse what you decided on, which will negate needing a town meeting next week.
Does it override the petition?
But does it override the petition? That's the legal.
You have to have this town meeting by statute. And the last day you can have it is the 12th. You have to have it 21 days.
No matter what. And at that,
Having a town meeting, we could present as many facts as we've accumulated by the 12th, and then let people decide if they want me to go further and flesh this out, or
and then.
reverse it and stop it. Because the town meeting, if the town meeting defeats the request for an override, then I just keep going. And put together an ordinance, put together all the information that might come in from the public. I mean, everyone could submit their questions and I can do the research. We've already started, but this could put a stop to it. Or enough people could come out and say, no, we feel the traffic cameras work and we're sick of speeding and we'd like you to keep going all the way to a town meeting. That's what will be decided on the 12th.
Because you have to schedule time, so make a motion for the time. And then Michelle,
Just
And
said,
that's the last possible date, you said? for that?
Yes, that's the one.
so I already made a motion.
Okay.
What am I doing?
Well, it goes on to the back page too.
You don't understand that. I did that. I already made the
Like the whole
motion.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now, You just vote on it.
And then how do I get an informational meeting? Another one?
That'd be after.
We're doing this in September, October, November?
It'll be later.
Let the state put them up.
You can't do anything at this meeting other than to have a meeting to decide whether to reverse the ordinance or not.
That's not entirely true.
You could have a discussion at the town meeting and discuss it.
So you'll pass whatever information you've got.
I will accumulate as much as I can by then. And then I've already, in your package tonight, have what I've accumulated from other towns.
Okay.
So it's just,
Some-
it's some information. It's nowhere near as extensive.
Positive to override this?
You really can't override it by statute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now you have to approve you have to set the town meeting. You don't have a choice.
All you're doing is setting a town meeting. And
Just set the town meeting.
I move to refer to the town meeting, so there must already be a town meeting. No?
On the 12th, it's been
We're-
scheduled.
we're
You just have to.
scheduling it tonight,
You're referring it to the 12th because of the petition.
right?
Okay. Motion on the floor. I don't understand. Are we having a meeting on the 12th, whether we do something or not?
It'll be the discussion.
Are we having a meeting on the 12th if we do something or not tonight?
What would you do tonight?
Yeah.
To a lawsuit if we don't schedule a meeting for the 12th. That's really what it is, because there's a petition.
So if we
out
don't-
there
Or there'd be a lawsuit?
that we'd have to have a special meeting probably this week to schedule it because we pushed it out the 21st day.
So we really can't even vote. We're just gonna automatically do this?
You have a quorum, you
We
can
have a
vote
quorum
to set the meeting. That's the only option you have right now. So the three of you,
I'm not sure why it's an issue, because at
Yeah.
least now you're getting one more chance for the town to ask questions.
Yeah.
Which is what we've all been talking about all along.
Okay.
So you make a motion for the have the town meeting?
He did.
He
did.
Are we voting? That's fine.
he has to set the vote.
So we have to have a vote.
All those in favor?
Aye. Are you voting, Steve?
I don't know. I'm not really quite sure what I'm voting on, Judy. I just really don't get it. Do we have a meeting posted already? Do we have a meeting scheduled?
No, it'll go out tonight.
You have to have 3 yeses.
So why are we even referring to a town meeting?
Okay, so
Because
two.
the charter says
So
if there's if enough signatures, 5% of the voting population.
Mark, you don't understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
I move to refer to the town meeting, but you're telling me I'm making a town meeting.
Right, you're creating a town meeting.
Create-
It's already created.
Because that's the 21st day, and we have no other date that we could pick anyway, so it's just referring to the inevitable town meeting.
Sure, okay. I vote,
Unanimous.
yeah, fine, I vote yes. I don't care.
Then we have the,
Upriver Mills Archaeological Preserve deed restriction.
okay, we have Joan Hill here to help guide us through the process that's been set in place by the historical preservation of one of our open space properties with SHPO. And this, actually, do you want to have Joan explain how the committee got to this point?
Sure.
Joan, can you hear us?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. So Joan Hill, 24 Cards Mill Road, and I'm here to represent the Harper Mills Management Committee. So we were notified back in April that after a long wait, we've been recognized as a state historic site, and that we were already approved for being a state archaeological preserve, provided we could provide this paperwork that we're presenting you with tonight. So they gave us, this is SHPO I'm talking about now, the State Historic Preservation Office. They gave us a bunch of examples of other preserves documents that made a way of permanently protecting the archaeology on the sites, but none of those really applied to us, and they were all private property or organizations, not towns. So we drafted a document we felt was simple English. We're certainly not lawyers, that seemed to cover all the bases. So if I can summarize it in 2 or 3 words, it basically says no one can dig or do anything that would alter the archaeological aspects, but the property would still be open for passive recreation, which would mean any kind of recreation that doesn't involve digging, paving, making permanent changes to the physical property. Okay. So the town still has the ability to do any of that at once in terms of maybe permitting camping or kayaking, whatever they want to do. So we drafted this document. There's like a page that's just a simple explanation. And then the appendix has attached the state statutes that are descriptions of what an archaeological preserve has and how it has to be protected. So the gist is, if anyone wants to do work on it archaeologically, it has to get approved by the state the state archaeologist. And so it has to have a reason, a methodology, and so on that would be approved of. And right now, the work we've already commenced has been approved by the state archaeologist and SHPO for the last 2 or 3 years. And I give a report every year to Mark, so hopefully it came to you as well. So anyway, so that's where we're at. So we were kind of hoping, we didn't talk to SHPO yet about our draft. We hope that you would make comments on it, changes, whatever you want, then submit it to the town lawyer who would make it legally correct, and then we'll send it to SHPO and see if it met their standard. And that's where we're at.
And the town attorney, Rich Roberts, he recommended we go to SHPO first because he was just concerned about the concept of adding a deed to add a deed restriction to a open space town property. So he just wanted to make sure that was okay with SHPO. If you want to show this to them.
Yeah, well, again, if nothing in there rings bells, alarms with you, it looks okay, we could do it right away. I just didn't want to go too far with it, until everyone agreed it was okay. So the main gist is this: aside from the terminology of how it's going to be protected, it must be in perpetuity, or as I put, travel with the deed, which apparently is not the right language. So it means that not only when the town owns it, should they ever transfer ownership to someone else, the terms would still apply. So it's forever, that's all. So that's the other element.
Town attorney wanted to make sure SHPO would be amenable to be the third party to help in enforcement of this restrictive deed, since it's enforcing the protection of your historical site.
Right. Well, the state offers or has a $5,000 fine for anyone that, what's the word, doesn't obey the restrictions that are posted there. So I think it's between people going by the site and seeing activity, reporting it to the town telling SHPO would then institute some kind of penalty or remediation of the damage or whatever. So it's kind of like a multi-process thing. But yeah, I think SHPO would be happy to be the ultimate decider of whether damage has been done or the terms have been, violated. But it's not going to be, I'm not sure it's going to be in the deed restriction that they are the enforcers. But anyway, they'll tell us, I'm not too sure how it works. Basically, I don't think it's come up. So basically, these places have been preserved by mostly the owners who were monitoring it themselves. And there hasn't been any big violation that I've heard of, but I can't swear to that.
Well, I can recommend that Joan and Ann work with Jen and I, and we'll get this language to SHPO and see if they're amenable.
Yeah.
If the board doesn't have any other changes.
So they would make the final draft. It wouldn't have to come back again to the lawyer here. I'd sort of go back and forth a lot, take other months and months. So, okay. So anyway, yeah, if you think the draft is okay as it is, without you wanting to eliminate or add something, we can send it off to SHPO because the lawyer's already seen it now. So.
No, I like the fact that you're still allowing camping and recreational activities on the property, because the whole right side is what we envisioned for the Boy Scouts to use, and access to the Hop River through the very easy access point that makes. And that any overnight requires a request from the town. So we control that. And that's not a problem.
On the historic site, I would definitely support
So
that.
I'm not concerned with the restrictive language they wanted to add.
So we don't need to vote on it?
You want to vote to have it go forward to the town attorney and after
Has
it's
to go to
reviewed by
SHPO.
SHPO. And then,
Why don't you get it to SHPO and see what they say and then bring it back? We'll send it to the attorney. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
thanks, Joan.
Nothing on the lake dam?
We're still waiting for fisheries to review our recommended fix to the spillway.
Appointments, I move to appoint Beverly Cirillo as an alternate on the Horace W. Porter School HVAC Building Committee. We talked about this 2-3 weeks in a row.
Yes, and I reviewed it with the town attorney. He said because Beverly and I, or you, or Barb, are signers of the check, there's always two signers. Beverly would never act on her own. There's already 4 members that vote. She would only be asked to help as an alternate in an emergency where we don't have a quorum because we're down to the last few weeks of getting this, last few months really, getting this project done.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Congratulations.
And, I move to appoint the Frenchman Mark Walpierre.
Is that what happened?
I move to appoint Mark Walter as the Town of Columbia's representative on Eastern Region Tourism District Board for a 3-year term, effective August 4th, 2024, and August 4th, 2029. Unless somebody else wants this job. All those in favor? Aye. Two, okay. Town administrator's report.
All right, so what I included in everyone's packet is the guidance for municipalities developing an automatic traffic enforcement safety device plan. This is my guideline that if we overturn the petition, I would follow in all the steps I would take to walk through the process of creating an application that would have to go to Connecticut DOT for their approval, and also in choosing a vendor and creating a ATESD plan of development for submission, and also doing an evaluation of traffic monitoring data of the locations we feel are the most dangerous in the town of Columbia that a speed camera could help. So this is the process that's spec'd out by the state, and this is not something I can whip together in weeks. It would take quite a while. And then if you look at the next documents, we took those from Clinton, and they had a great cheat sheet on what's the difference between a flock ALPR camera and a ATESD program enforcement. And what we're looking at is a ATESD program, which is authorized for speed camera and red light enforcement, focusing on roadway safety, not on the flock cameras, which Clinton has both. They have both flock ALPR cameras and ATESD programs. And they explain in their question and answers what's the difference between the cameras and why both are important, but they're not the same. So they have a passive versus active enforcement. So read all that. That would be part of what we could post for public informational purposes. And then here is Clinton's draft ordinance. I also have Marlboro's draft ordinance. I can easily get any town in our state that has them. But these ordinances were outlined by state statute. And that's what I've pulled together so far. Next, any other questions or any of that? Next, I have been alerted by our fire chief, who's in the audience, Chef Lewis, about a House Bill 5460, Public Act number 26-144, acts concerning a statewide fire protection. So when you read this House bill, I've actually highlighted some of the critical components that will involve us rather quickly. We have to be on or before July 1st of 2027 in compliance, and we have to establish a local fire protection plan, submit the plan to the chief elected officer, the legislative body, and the emergency management director, and each municipality must submit a plan to the state fire administrator. So these plans are involved, and it will also take some effort. What they're saying is the towns have to be totally involved with their fire departments and actively monitoring to make sure they're sustaining what your expectations are for their response times, their membership, their care for their capital equipment, and you name it. So it'll be some work, and I think this is a result of different towns that have gone to war with some of their fire departments. Stephen, Jeff wanted to add in.
I just comment on that, Bill.
Sure.
So we currently already have an EMS plan with the state. We have to do that every 5 years. So that's to be reviewed by OEMS. This is going to be by the fire administrator, the state appointed, brand new bill. The state's having a fire administrator. Every 312 towns have to submit a fire protection plan. And as Mark very well said, the town is involved with everything, with departments that are falling off, not being able to meet the standard. And the question is, what is the standard? So it will be well involved between fire department, Mark, and emergency management director Jerry James.
And my bosses.
And your boss.
And then next, I included our budget document that is now completed and posted on the website. You can see with the different changes made to the budget, how the final budget line items and the mill rate and everything was established. And also included, did everybody get one? You have in your, we're having them bound at the moment, but this is the 26 to 36 plan of conservation development. I want to thank everybody, all the boards and commissions for their hard work, public input. In the back of the plan of conservation, there's an extensive town questionnaire that was done on many, many topics. And it shows how people agreed, disagreed, or were neutral, or strongly disagreed with different questions. And it's enlightening. So how do you live and work in Columbia? And 421 people responded to this. So it's a good sampling of our population and what's important to residents of Columbia about now and in the future. So it's for your reading pleasure. And that's all I have, Steve.
And some correspondence in there. We have to go to a town meeting for this?
Yes, based on our charter, some of the things have to be in.
I move to approve the transfers for fiscal year 2025-2026 totaling $55,221 reflected in the summaries of transfers. So we went through this, Mark, Bev, and myself. They're all pretty much agency to agency or department to department. First, I'll go through them quick. Bev, if I get them wrong, please you can jump in there. But first one goes machinery equipment over to contracted services. Instead of buying a printer, released another one. The next line is electricity. Maintenance garage needed more telephone communications. We came up short in that line. The next one is for the referendums, professional tech. We needed more information and
Servicing.
use servicing, the voting and stuff. The next one is postage, that's for the referendums. The other one, next one is legal notice, it comes from legal notices, professional tech goes to postage and for
mailings.
mailings.
That's just-
Town clerk, you see salary line. Finance over the salary line, $9,905. We brought in a assistant who's taking over for Karen, who's moving up into Robin's position. We needed at least a 4-month training period. The next one is legal notices for the referendums, $686 we needed to move over. The next one is 4230-110 postage and conference and seminars transportation. All that was moved over for the social services. They needed more information and some additional training over there. The next one, repairs and maintenance, went to the transportation, social services on the van, the salary line. We do a lot for the seniors over. The next one is 4260, electricity, move it over to general supplies. That was also for social services for
That was senior center.
senior center, okay, senior center. The next one came out of contingency. The trooper during the middle of the year got bumped to another step, $6,029. That wasn't in our budgeting last year. He gets his money. The next one, machines and equipment, we moved it over to general supplies and transportation for the fire marshal. He needed some stuff for training and for travel. He bought new
Jackets,
equipment, jackets and
like a uniform.
other equipment. The next one, 4640. Salary, lake management. Last year we went into November because the lake allowed us to. And, during the drawdown, people still had boats out there. We had to pay more for lake services. And the rest of that is general supplies for the rec department and maintenance and repairs that we had to do on the Defender boat. Salary public works went to salary public works overtime, had a long winter. Next is the inland wetlands area, and it's the next two, 4520, 4510, and 4520 again. That was to the inland wetlands for some legal notices, a lot of legal notices that went out, over $3,000 worth. The next one is mostly for general supplies. What department is that? Oh,
That's
it's fire
facilities.
facilities. Okay, the big one in there is $2,000 for AED upgrade. General supplies and contracted services make up the other $1,500. Salaries, agriculture and ag, it's for Zegda Farm,
Picnic tables.
picnic tables at Zegda Farm.
They wanted some more picnic tables for use in the farm, and then they use salary lines and other lines to fund them.
The next one is covered time off, $8,300 shortage that wasn't budgeted in, but we had some employees who had some illnesses, took some time off. And we were short $8,393. Next is general supplies, went to professional tech lifeguard certifications. That to be done every year. Yes, right, every year. The next one, advertising electricity is rec department?
That's rec department.
Rec department. We did more things, postage of $500, and they had some tax and dues stuff. Dues. And the next one is contracted services, and what department is that? Zegda Farm, went over to general supplies, repairs and maintenance. We put in the electricity, we had a line to repair the electric lines to be able to pump water to the veg.
Plus they brush hog twice.
Plus they brush out twice.
Yes.
So that's $221. Any questions?
I guess we could ask this one after a little bit too, but in reference to the step increase for the state troopers, that's something that we did factor in. our
This
budget
year?
This year?
They gave us an estimate and that's the estimate we go by from the budget. So I assume it's in there.
They do give us the estimate every year.
It's not always correct.
Here's
Yeah,
the,
that's voted on legislature, so I guess.
The contract just got.
Just like everything they do up there.
Probably because the contract just got.
Right.
But I was just curious if we had factored it in this year. 'Cause
yeah, they sent an estimate so that we go by that.
All those in favor of approving the transfers? Thank you. Now I move to set a town meeting on August 18th, 2026. I won't do that. 6:45 PM is the Village Urban Conference Room for the following purposes. Clause 1, to approve a budget transfer for the fiscal year 25-26 of $13,777 from 10-4112-040 group insurance to cover the cost above budget for town employees' pensions benefits to the following accounts. 10-4112-050 pension expense $12,327. 10-4112-110 postage $890 and 10-4 something wrong there.
4112-300. That's a typo in it.
4112-300 general supplies for $63. Clause 2, to approve a budget transfer in the fiscal year for the fiscal year 25-26 totaling $21,654 from the following accounts. 10-4112-040 general supplies.
That should be group insurance. My fault.
Yeah, we fixed it on the actual legal notes.
I correct. General is, what is it?
Group insurance. Right.
$10,000. 10-4112-062.
060.
I correct myself. -060. 457 employer match of $4,154. And 10-4112-230.
Yeah.
Electricity, $7,500. To account number 10-4530-500. Is that right?
Yes.
Facilities, professional and tech line to cover the cost of the year-end facilities project, DPW repair to siding, HVAC repairs, and alarm system repair. I'm sorry, I butchered all that. The bottom line is that money is going to the DPW building. Siding, HVAC, and alarm system repairs, okay? And clause 3, to approve a budget transfer for the fiscal year 25-26 totaling $100,000 to capital account number 20-6206-002, facilities capital improvement buildings, in order to cover the cost of water filtration system for town buildings that tested positive for PFAS from the following accounts. 10-4136-010 salaries finance and 10-4410-010 salaries DPW. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Good news,
Sign.
no refunds. Next is I move to, these numbers correct? I move to approve the payment of bills as presented totaling $184,204.21, consisting of fiscal year 25-26 regular, 26-27 regular, unemployment claim, credit card, and paychecks. This is our total grant to AHM.
Yes.
Did we figure out what we get from them? You're
Yes.
gonna call them.
Well, I've done that in the presentations coming up.
Great. Quarterly state and educational fees. Who's that to? State of Connecticut for what?
Where's that?
State, second page, state education fees? State ed fees, April to June, we're paying them?
That is a portion, I think, from the permit fees. Where is that? Yes, that's part of the revenue from permits. We have to get to the state. It's called state aid, please.
Why are we paying for weather forecasting?
Because it used to come from the school, and what happened with their connection?
So this weather forecaster has decided that he's only doing municipalities and not schools.
That's right.
Part of the reason is they don't want to be responsible that if they miss forecast and say either school's closed when it didn't need to be, or if something happens, they miss forecast or something, that you have a bus and all kinds of, so they're kind of liability issues, so they pushed it up.
So,
Cost shift from the school bus.
okay,
So.
is that $1,000 or what? A guess?
No,
No, it's a full forecast. I think you're on the.
I'm on it. Is it $1,000 a month, a
It's a
year?
a year.
It's a year.
And it's shared with all emergency services, fire department.
And I've been forwarding it to the school, so they. That information.
And Lake
Who's
Management.
George Philippides? A concert. That's yet to be did.
That's for Thursday night concert.
It's
The Beatles.
Oh, yeah, 9 to 9.
The Beatles.
A cover band for the Beatles.
Do a costume.
I think they switch halftime.
Magical Mystery Tour. It would be cool.
How much do we pay for security monitoring? Dear God, is this for the year? Is this monthly? What is
That's
this?
for the year.
10 grand?
No, I think it's 13.
Okay.
There's additional lines because it's another company took over for FASD. So they did have some issues issuing the new invoices, so there's credit to replace duplicates and just so that we have a tracking of everything. That's why there's so many lines. So there might be one more bill coming for the library because they're on a different year. So, but it's for fire alarms, security alarms, or whatever. So.
Any questions? Who's going to the yard work?
What?
Who's going to the yard work?
They got canceled.
Then they better get a refund.
I think we didn't sell enough tickets to.
I just paid them, so I'll follow up with you. I was wondering.
Does the town pay for this stuff or does it come out of gift cards and stuff?
What stuff we talking about?
That's all being paid out of the food pantry fund.
Food pantry funds, yes.
No questions? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Audience of citizens. Yes.
Marion Barrington, Green Newford Drive. I have questions on the first audience of citizens that you said. Talk about 6.1.
Would you say them again because I forgot them?
You took it down. Yes, I did. Okay. My first question was, have a draft or a template for the speed cameras been written or reviewed yet?
No.
Stated no, but you're submitting them to the board to review now. Is that correct?
No, I'm showing what other towns have done. That's all.
Thank you. And what will the verbiage be for the ordinance for the town people will be voting on?
They're not voting on the ordinance.
Pardon?
We're not voting on an ordinance, you're voting to,
On the petition. Correct.
right.
What will the verbiage be, please?
I don't know, we
What?
haven't done it yet.
Verbiage on what?
Our town ordinance.
We're
No,
not.
no, she's asking, when we go to the town meeting,
You're gonna have to ask a vote.
there's a vote that happens at the town meeting. Can you cite the actual verbiage?
No.
That's what we just voted to put.
Isn't that what we're,
You're reversing the motion, is
Yes, just reversing the motion to,
Yes, I want to reverse the motion. No, I do not want to reverse the motion.
Okay. And how will the vote be counted?
Paper ballots.
Yeah. Paper ballots, and people approve that they're registered voters?
We'll have to have the registrars there available to, if we question anybody that they're a valid registrar, we'll have a list of
That makes sense.
people who pay taxes.
And will the town meeting be posted on the billboard? That was a fourth question that was not asked earlier.
Yes.
Not- There will be a meeting. Thank you.
Seeing no others? Okay, at this time, I'm going to suspend the Board of Selectmen meeting at 8:06 PM and move into executive session. Unless board member comments, you got any comments? Okay.
You sign these.
So thank you very much. So at 8:18, we are exiting the executive session with no action taken, resuming the Board of Selectmen meeting. At this time, 8:19, I move to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Great.